Welcome back to the Sports and Entertainment Spotlight podcast. I'm your host, Ashley Marie. Today, we're diving into the business of football from contract negotiations to managing player careers. Nobody better to do that with than having Dr. Glenn Toby with us today. It's just an honor to have you here. You've had an extensive career in sports, especially the NFL, and you've done a lot with big corporations. Toby, it's great to have you with us.
Pleasure to be here. Excited.
Tell me a little bit about what got you interested in the sports side of the industry. What was the NFL draw?
So for me, I had a career in entertainment. I was a rapper, still am, I guess. We rappers, we never put our microphone down. Mr. Sweetie G, rapper when I was a kid in school. From there, went on and had the honor of managing LL Cool J with Brian Latour, Charles Fisher. I was on that team, and we did this plaque behind you, this multi-platinum selling Mr. Smith album. We did the In the House show with Quincy Jones. With LL Cool J, we did Fubu deal, various deals. I discovered David Banner, the rapper, actor, Positive K, worked with Saigon and so many other rappers later on. At that point, I met Alonzo Shavers, who was a burgeoning sports agent, and he came to me for investment. And I told him, if you give me the opportunity, I'll invest X amount of dollars and I will do a 10 to 20X by bringing the creativity of entertainment, bringing the speed, the fast, the flair, and the culture of music to the structure and the uniformity and power to the NFL. And we transacted over $300 million during Infinite Sports Technologies, which was a company that we founded and did an exit on and sold years later. I'm back in the space, as you know, with the Winner's Circle, and we are doing NIL and also contract negotiations across the board in all sports, amateur sports as well as professional sports. And I do that with Raheem Vick and Brady Jackson and a bunch of other associates. That's where I am today in the sports world.
That's absolutely incredible. What did you need to learn to get into that?
Great question. So for me, coming into sports culture, because I wasn't a successful athlete and I didn't have the traditional sports background, I had to bring logic and make a bridge or a tunnel to spaces and places that the average athlete wouldn't go to. I had to learn really fast. I had to be creative. My first NFL athlete, was Damian Robinson, drafted by the Phillies, went to Tampa Bay, and you remember the Hurley thing when he pulled the helmet on Hurley. God bless Hurley. During Monday Night Football, that was my first athlete in the NFL. And I went on to work with countless athletes, ending up with us doing a Santi $60 million deal by having a great core, right? A great core team. Some of us did analytics and research on the sports. Some of us did fiscal financial management. Some of us did programming. And obviously, we deal with the core of the athlete, mind, body, and soul. So that, these are CEOs that are either on a basketball court, a tennis, soccer, and they're playing. So we want them to play when it's time to play, and we want them to work when it's time to work, because the game is played mostly off the field, off the court, or out of the ring.
That's a great transition into the next question I was going to ask you. In today's rapidly evolving, like social media driven sports, entertainment, the whole landscape is changing, right? How have you seen the role of an athlete and artist change fundamentally?
Well, now you're dealing with these young people, the age of 15, 12, actually, 12 to as much as 25, being pitched with potentially getting $2 to $5 million. More recently, there are players that are getting $5 million out of high school with NIL money. So now you're speaking to the core conscious, the spirit, and if not fully developed mind in many of these spaces. You're dealing with parents, friends, you're dealing with shady backgrounds with runners and people that may have impacted their lives, whether it's family, friends, or community. And you have to be able to transmodulate or be able to help them be the gap, take the go in to replace the gap that keeps them from being professional, to being the difference and the better part of what was missing in their lives by turning up and turning on what has merit and value and power in their lives so they remain empowered. Obviously, the average athlete's career is 4 years. They usually go into fiscal trouble. They're in complicated cases where they're trying to figure out what they're going to do with their life, whether it's bad financial management, whether it's mental or spiritual. These are the things that we're trying to transcend and make it different here in the Winner Circle.
I love that. That's like you said, an athlete's time frame doesn't last for forever. What happens afterwards? Like what does that look like? So I think going into the mental status behind everything and making sure that they're grounded on and off the field is really important.
Yeah, it is. It's important. I mean, it's a legacy offering. All of my I've had the honor of representing from O'Neal Bell, who's no longer here. He was unranked, and we took him from unranked to the undisputed cruiserweight champion of the world. First time in 40 years, we broke Holofield's record. I had no real true experience in the science of boxing, but working with Don King, promoters, and others, I came with altruism, common sense, discipline, and stayed out of their space. I didn't get in their shadow. I didn't get in their light. I just was in support, learning as I go. Being a person that's rooted in ethics, that's learning as you go, being adaptive, but yet letting the talent, be the focus.
That's awesome. What would you suggest for aspiring athletes and artists, listening today, who are navigating those critical transitions in their life from amateur to professional? What would be a very crucial piece of advice that you would want to offer them?
I think for athletes, if you don't have family support, listen to your coaches. And to everybody that's watching us, this show, this platform is one of the most, and this is why I'm here today. It's very rare that you get an organic interest. You love sports, you love community, you love business. And people have to find people that identify their ideals, their dreams, and that they can trust with it. But you have to trust yourself first. Do tons of research, middle school, talk to your parents, talk to your mentors, talk to coaches, do as much research as you can, go to YouTube University before you get to the university.
YouTube University is a great place to go. You can learn a lot of things on there. So, beyond just performance, how would you guide somebody to strategically grow their brand and their legacy?
Yeah, I think, you have to, the same way you're looking at X's and O's when you're performing, the same way you have to practice research, look at game film, the way you're critically doing, analysis, whether it's a defensive back watching the uh, receiver catch an audible and move, looking at the quarterback's eyes, listening to the crowd to see maybe somebody's moving, there's excitement. That same, those principles, those natural inherent skills that you have as an athlete, that raw human instinct needs to be in every aspect of what you're doing, from coaches to trainers to even your parents. Identifying how you go to sleep and how you wake up. What's most important to you? What do you want? And then have a plan for what you want to do after you are you're in academic excellence, or you're really not that good in academics. What are you going to do? And there's all types of phases. Someone that's an intellectual that loves being a student, that loves academia, someone that loves coaching and loves the fullness of the game, but doesn't know if they want to go pro. There's so many different areas, right? Statistics, physical training, analytics, marketing, there's so many parts of sports. It's a massive, 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 massive industry. And each player should play the game with business in mind, not have their business end up playing with their mind.
Wow. Guys, put that on a quote somewhere on a t shirt. I love that. During your incredible journey in sports and entertainment, what is one of the most interesting or profoundly cool moments that you're just grateful for?
I think the greatest moments are the things that nobody sees. God bless Josh Evans. I was talking to my friend Richard Dwayne Pritt about it, the doctor, and he died silently from leukemia or a disease. And I was there from the highest points of negotiating his career, setting up his charity, his children that were born, his wow. He died number 91 on the Jets, and I was with this guy,
Yeah.
um, and the support that I gave off the field, from helping him manage an addiction, from painkillers to deciding to get married and fighting through challenges. If anybody researches him, it's public information. He struggled with some substance and then fought back to go to the playoffs and do great things. And these people aren't with you anymore. So
Yeah, that's definitely extremely hard, especially when you put in so much work and effort and you've seen them grow and then to have that humongous loss because they're more than just another person. They're not more than just a they're more than just a client. their family at that point, right? So, and it's a brotherhood, it's a sisterhood. It goes so much deeper than that.
Yeah,
So
and
I appreciate
it's
you
not
sharing.
transactional for me.
Exactly.
Again, I have to honor another one. Cruiserweight, O'Neal Bell. He was murdered.
Mm,
Senseless killing in Atlanta. Somebody robbed him at a bus stop. I was with him from before he was ranked to undisputed. And if you Google it, you go to my any page, you'll see I'm in the ring with him holding up that belt, that world championship belt. And he's not here anymore. And he's still a champion. So those are the things I hold on to.
I love that. That's super amazing. Well, you're proud parents of a book. So tell us a little bit about that.
On another note, this is a novel. It's called The Asian Power League. And this book's available everywhere, people. Michael Hai Young is a fictional character. There's no such thing as the Asian Power League. And what happens essentially is he comes with immigrant parents and he goes to like an Ivy League school and he's dealing with paternalism, racism, challenges of being a new immigrant. And he's a brilliant man. And during his internship, he goes in and picks some stocks. They give him a crappy portfolio. He turns it into billions of dollars as a young man, goes one summer to meet with his cousin, and he has a romantic interest that he falls in love with, and he ends up being romantic with this lady. So his cousin comes in to save his life. He has some drinks. They get the lady out of the room. He wakes up, let's just say many summers later, maybe 10 summers later, 20 summers later, whatever it is. Read the book. And as he goes to become a senator, then he goes to become president of the United States, his cousin calls and says, "You know, you're a member of the Asian Power League." Says, "What are you talking about? This is going to be the greatest takeover in the world. Now we'll get revenge on America." So he has to decide whether he's going to make trillions of dollars, be wealthy, and avenge this Asian country. And I don't say what it is, people can pick it, it's part of their imagination, or he's going to be a patriot and save the country. The only way you'll find out is by getting the book. You can Google it, or you can go to asianpowerleague.com or get it wherever books are sold.
Very nice. That's awesome. And where can people find you to work with you to support you?
Absolutely. They can go to drglenntoby.com, and that's drglenntoby.com. All things social is Glenn Toby, and I'm giving a book away July 26th. It's called The Four Boxes. It is an ebook on some amazing principles and certain ingredients and rare blueprint that we just don't find that often. I'm just going to give a key to unlock the vault to spiritual awareness, healing, growing your finance, and finding your pathway to your throne. It kind of extrapolates from some of the teachings and some of the presentation I did at my more recent TED Talk, which is really interesting. There's some principles and there's some ideas and some philosophies that I've adapted and I'm sharing with the world. That ebook will be available July 26th. Go to my website and get it. I want to share.
That's awesome. And tell us a little bit about your TED Talk experience. How was that?
That was amazing just to be able to be in a format like that that is so structured and it's has such a vast audience. I mean, I've reached over 500,000 people with all the posts combined, and it's growing every day. And it's great feedback. But there's some amazing healing tools. The DMs that I get, and please go check this TED Talk out. It's on my website. You can find it, or just search for it on the TED Talk page, or you can go to my YouTube page. And it was amazing to be able to give deliverable call to action instructions with tools that are useful, such as taking the fragments of disappointment, pain, failure, and experiences and turning those fragments into something that can be broken glass that shatters the soul and the body and the mind, and putting that glass back together, looking in it, and practicing some of the things I talk about on the TED Talk. And you look in that mirror and you'll see a new person. You'll use that as materials to drive, to heal, and to perform and prepare to find your pathway to a purpose that is promised.
That's awesome. I love that. And kind of brings me to my last question for you. How do you ensure your approach remains effective despite the unique demands and changes of the industry, sports, athletic?
I think it's rooted in principle, ideology, and practice. People are ideologists and they have philosophies, but they don't put it to practice. One of my greatest callings, I experienced youth homelessness when I was 8 years old, homeless for a long time until middle school. And I have a
Mm.
foundation called the Book Bank Foundation. We serve the lost, the lonely, and the forgotten. Coming up on 30 years, we have an aviation camp that starts at the end of July where young kids from the age of 12 to as much as 19 actually fly the airplanes. It's
Well,
STEM based:
that's amazing.
science, technology, engineering, and math. And we give them the core rudimental values of the world of aviation, from career opportunities to having the ability to understand aviation and science as a whole. Founded by our partner here at the Bookbank Foundation, one of the board members, Dr. Captain John Addison, who'll be leading that. Special guest coming in is Samuel, who was the first Navy helicopter pilot. And she has a book out and she'll be joining us as well. And I happen to executive produce her book. I mean,
Wow.
her movie called The Courage to Thrive. So we're going to plug that one. That's coming at the end of the year. She'll be one of our guests there. So I'm excited about that. So, spirituality, consciousness, subconsciousness, when we take and we go into making a linear or some type of bond to resonate from the things that we don't remember, that are just indelibly put in our subconscious, and we connect it with the conscious, we're in full homeostasis. We're operating to every single bit of our promised ability. I try to go to that through spiritual meditation, prayer, isolating for a minute, taking a walk for 30 minutes, an hour, exercising every day. Stay rooted in your premise, your principle, and your practice, and it will prepare you for greater days.
That's awesome. That pretty much answered, looking ahead, what are the significant opportunities and pitfalls for professionals that are aiming and, sustaining their brands?
Yeah, I think it's, be measure who your partners are.
Mm. Very true.
Be guided by instinct and principle, and follow your mission. Don't get torn off by your mission. Don't get thrown off by money, by valuation, by trying to magnify or multiply it to greater profit. You got to stay on focus at all times. It's important. Measure who you want to be in your space in terms of energy, in terms of resources. Do you have enough to share with everybody else? Is it a little bit too early? What are your goals? Are you looking to sell this company and make an exit? Is it a legacy offering that you're going to leave to somebody else? Do you have other goals and ideas? And are you sharing? And are you able to maintain a competitive position based on the blueprint, the business plan, or where you're trying to go? Is it a real business or is it a hobby?
Hmm. That's very good points. Dr. Toby, I really appreciate you taking the time. Is there any last little tidbits or things that you'd like to share? Floor is open for you.
If I had to say anything, I would say let your passion lead you. Continue to do research. There are a lot of these AI tools, people. Do not just shout things or prompt into AI without first doing tremendous amounts of research and do the work. They're all iterations of new technology that are coming, but the people that are writing the software may not have your same ideals, may not have your same thoughts, and may not fully represent you. Stay present in all things, whether it's technology or whether it's organic and it's coming from the human level. Spiritual and human currency is more valuable than money than anything else, because you can still control it. It becomes every part of you. Once you have fragments of other things that are based on just money, just mechanics, just science and technology, the spirit of your cause, the spirit of your dream can turn into a nightmare.
Yes, it can. That's very true. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. And guys, it's been great to have you join us today. Thanks to Dr. Toby, and I appreciate getting to meet Chloe a little bit. She's great as well. She's fantastic. You need a good assistant in life, right?
Yeah, driving, working, doing it all, and helping with book bag. Yeah, so
Oh my
grateful to have a great
goodness.
team around me.
Yes, it's good to have support. You got to have a family, right? Takes a village to run anything, basically. So,
It does.
yeah, see you next time.